We're building a GSAP-powered animation sequence, and here's what it looks like in slow-mo. When the page loads, our navbar drops in softly as the background image fades in, and our text elements enter from the left with a stagger. After a short pause, our CTA buttons appear. It's intentional, subtle, and smooth to match our brand story. And we'll build the whole thing. As we go, we'll cover triggers, which start animations, targets that let you choose what to animate, actions that define what happens, and we'll bring everything together with timeline adjustments. If you want to follow along, you can clone this site from the Webflow marketplace into your workspace. Open the Interactions panel, delete the hero page load interaction, and rebuild it, or duplicate it and make it your own. Now let's get started with triggers. From the Interactions panel, click the plus icon. You'll see a list of trigger options, the thing that initiates the action. We'll choose page load since we want the hero to animate when someone lands on the page. But let's look at some other trigger animations we already have set up here. Scroll triggers start animations when an element enters or exits the viewport, like revealing these cards one by one as they enter your view. Hover triggers respond to user interactions, like making these tabs gently move in and out when hovered to give visitors a hint that they're clickable. There are also click triggers that fire when someone clicks something, and custom triggers that let you set your own trigger event. And each of these trigger types have their own settings and options. Just know that they're what kicks off all the action. Okay, we've set the trigger, now let's define our first target, the thing that moves. Back here in our page load interaction, we'll select the navbar element on the canvas. Click Add Action and choose Custom to start. We'll come back to actions in a bit. Here, we can see the target is the navbar wrapper class, so anything with that class follows the same animation. But we could choose Element to target just this one navbar, or Attribute for elements that share a data attribute even if their classes are different. Or Custom Selector if you want to write your own to target something more specific. Or any element with a filter. Filters let you control how animation flows across your layout. For example, we could target elements within our navbar wrapper class, which would animate the links and buttons but not the bar itself. We'll stick with our nav-wrapper class. With our first target set, let's move on to actions. But first, a quick sidebar. Actions define what happens to the target. We chose custom a moment ago, but you can also play a Lottie animation, or set an instant change like toggling visibility or changing a class, or choose something more specific for your project. Okay, let's jump back into our custom animation. For our navbar, we want to change its opacity and Y position. We'll just clear out the rest. And we'll choose a from animation, which starts where you tell it to and ends in its current state. So we'll start the opacity at 0% and it'll end at its current state of 100%. We don't need to define 2 here. We also want it to start from negative 80% of its Y value. That's nearly out of view from the top. We can see that if we toggle on Show Outlines. We'll set the duration to 0.8 seconds. We can also change this later. And set the ease to power to out. It'll start fast, then slow into place. Easing shapes the curve of the motion. It can feel calm, energetic, bouncy. There are a lot of options to choose from. Now, let's click the 3 dots up here to rename the action to something like navbar entry. There it is on the timeline. Let's preview. The navbar fades in and drops gently. Looking great. Next, onto the heading. We'll back out of this action and select the first hero heading on the canvas. Then, still inside the page load trigger, we'll click the plus sign to add another custom action. Drilling into our target, we can see this heading has a combo class, but all 3 lines of the heading share the same base class. So we could animate this line only, or just delete the combo class here and target all 3 heading lines at once. Okay, another from animation, great for entrances. We'll set the opacity to 0% and X position to -17%, just a little bit out of view on the left. And set the duration to 0.8 seconds and easing to power 2 out to keep consistent with our navbar. Okay, great start. But now for the magic, stagger. Stagger offsets timing within a single action with multiple elements. We'll choose 0.12 seconds, so each one starts a fraction of a second after the previous, creating a natural rhythm. For text, you can even choose to split it by word or letter, and the offset will apply accordingly. That's a little more than we want for this site, but it can work really well for some designs. Let's rename this action and keep moving. Next, the paragraph. And we'll speed things along since you've seen a lot now. We'll add another action to the page load trigger, this time targeting the hero-paragraph class. Keep it as a from animation, with an opacity set to 0 and move X to -3%. Very subtle. We'll do a little shorter duration at 0.5 seconds and try a softer ease with power 1 out. Rename it and back out. Now the button group. We'll select it on the canvas. Add an action to the page load trigger. And once again, choose from and set the opacity to 0%. But this time, we won't animate position. Instead, we'll animate the scale from 0.98, making it grow just a little bigger. And we'll let this happen a little longer with a 0.9 second duration, and add a little oomph with a power 3 out ease. And as always, we'll rename it. Finally, let's fade in the background image. And a quick tip, if something's not easily clickable on the canvas, you can find it in your navigator panel. We'll add one more action, and we could even choose fade in. Set the from opacity to 0% with a 0.5 second duration and a power 2 out ease consistent with other actions. Rename it and we're almost there. Time to fine-tune everything in the timeline. If you've been following along, you should have a page load trigger with actions for your navbar, heading, paragraph, buttons, and background image. But we want our navbar, heading, and image animations to start at the same time in the beginning. We can just click and drag to rearrange everything. And let's make these longer so they'll go a little slower. And maybe we overlap our hero paragraph to bring it in just as the hero heading is finishing up. Overlap can make the movement feel more natural. And let's keep this gap before the CTAs. The pause adds a nice bit of emphasis. You can see how small adjustments can change the feel of the motion. Okay, let's wrap up. We covered triggers that start the animation, like a page load. Targets that define what will animate, like a class or element. Actions that define what happens, like opacity or scale changes. And we fine-tuned everything with timeline adjustments. But if you want to keep practicing, find the banner element in the navigator panel. It's currently set to hidden. You can make it visible and try adding it to your page load interaction, maybe with a color change. And there's even a Lottie file within it. See if you can get it to play after the banner is revealed. Or inspect and adjust other pre-built interactions on this site, like this card scroll. And as always, find more interactions clonables in the Made in Webflow marketplace, made by you, the Webflow community.